going to go through these slides fairly quickly just to give you an overview. If you want details, I'll be glad to try to answer those questions. Let's go to the first slide here. This is the state budget through the years. And from the speakers previously, it looks like we're going to recover, but probably slowly, like previously. You can see the downturn that we had there in 2002 and 3. That was after 9/11, those issues there. Not as significant as the one that we're facing now, but very similar. You can't see it on the screen very well, but the green is the ongoing, and you can see how that's decreased almost $1 billion. Okay, next slide, please. These are the shortfalls. If you've ever been where Representative Bigelow is writing numbers on a whiteboard, this is the way that he writes them out. The fiscal year and the reductions or the shortfalls that needed to happen through the last 12 to 18 months. Basically what we're looking at, the $957 million, when you hear in the news that we've reduced the budget by $1 billion, that's how you get to it, is from those various reductions from special sessions and revenue projections, adjustments to the projections. Next slide. You see the 957 and FY 2010 at the top right there. We have $42 million of growth items. Now, what is growth items? This is public education enrollment increases. These are new students that need to be funded. This is also Medicaid inflation and utilization increases. These are things that just happen year to year that are growth items that we try to fund in the budget. So you see the federal stimulus money at the bottom. This was some changes to the Medicaid match rate and what they call the State Fiscal Stabilization Fund for Education. So this is the way that we balanced our budget. Next slide, please. Okay, here's how the breakdown of where we got the revenue. Took cash out of buildings, cash out of roads. We had non-lapsing balances in education, mineral monies, water loan funds, which was our rural colleagues in the legislature weren't too happy about that. Disaster recovery. If you talk to Representative Oda, he probably has some strong feelings about that one. Severance taxes. I think we'll be talking about severance taxes later on in the agenda. None of these were real popular, or not everybody was happy about all these revenue sources. And then various funds, and I asked, what are various funds? Because that's a lot of money in various funds, and these are things like the energy efficiency loan programs. We took some money from there, and there were $6 million in PEHP reserves. That's the insurance reserve fund. So next slide, please. Okay, our new fees and revenue. The president just talked about what we did in terms of the $20 registration increase and some fees in courts and a couple of fees in agriculture. And as you can see, here's the number we're all looking at. And this is the one the speaker was talking about, the 400. That's $400 million of real reductions that will occur July 1st, 2010. We've already built that into the budget. Okay, so there's $400 million of budget reductions that will occur. Next slide, please. Okay. Here's our rainy day funds. You saw the other slide in a bar graph. This is how much we have in reserve. We have a few things, a few more non-lapsing balances in various budgets, but it's very minimal. This is really the savings account that we have at this point in terms of one-time money in the state. Next, please. Okay, here's our projected growth that we're going to be looking at for the 2011. $100 million in public ed growth, 75 in retirement. Now, you didn't see that we had to fund retirement this year. That's because a few years back, we changed the way we fund the retirement and put it on a 5-year rolling average. So we don't have these ups and downs and ups and downs. Well, because we've had a couple of downs that we haven't had to fund, now is the day of reckoning, and we're going to be looking at needing to fund that to maintain that 5-year stability. So 75 million there. Public employee health and dental benefits are always increasing, just like any business. Ours are always increasing. That's the projected increase we'll need there. Medicaid, like I said, always needs increases, but Medicaid always grows when the economy goes bad. So at the time that you have less money, you actually need more for Medicaid. Medicaid, as we all know, is an entitlement program, so the state has to fund it. If you qualify, you get the benefit. So it's about 20 million there. And the other funding needs that I mentioned, some one-time money that we put into the budget that we need to replace with ongoing in the next year. So we're looking at $257 million of what we call our usual need to funds. So add that to the 400. So if we want to maintain the budget as we set it at the end of this last session, that's 400 million plus 257 million. So we're looking at 657 million potentially needing to find in the next session to maintain the budget where it is today. So, next slide. You can see that the way Representative Bigelow looks at this, he's not even addressing the 400 million. The 400 million is real, it's built into the budget, it will occur. What he's looking at is specifically the 257 million that's on the previous slide. These are projections as to the kind of revenues that we could expect to see out of these tax increases. The property taxes, I asked a few questions about that. The state has the ability to levy a state property tax. We have not done so, but that is a possibility. We could also allow the districts or have them increase basic levies, those kinds of things. So the question posed to this presentation was, how will we balance the budget? And my answer is, we're going to balance the budget just like we always have. We're going to have a lot of hearings. We're going to listen to the agencies. We're going to listen to the governor. We're going to listen to our constituents. We're going to listen to the taxpayers. And we're going to very carefully, thoughtfully, and fiscally prudently manage the budget. That's the way we've always done it in Utah, and as you can tell from the other presenters, we've been very successful at doing that, and we're going to continue to do that. I don't see any change in the future. We will have discussions about these issues. I personally, because of my own personal political philosophy, I'm going to have a hard time talking about those things. Does that mean that I should shy away from those discussions? Absolutely not. But personally, I'm not real thrilled about revenue enhancements, i.e. tax increases. So you'll see a lot of vigorous debate. I'm not alone, thankfully, in the legislature on that, but if there are a few of us, actually there are quite a few who have a lot of personal and political, philosophical resistance to tax increases. So you'll see a very vigorous debate on these issues, and as I mentioned, we'll continue to balance the budget because we are required to do so, and I think in Utah, even if we weren't required to do so, we would do it because it's just the right thing to do. So thank you.